Okay, welcome to the webinar on pedagogical leadership by Kari, Louhivuori. Welcome to the CC's activity on the online activities. So this is a 2 hours webinar which will be presented to the participants across different parts of the world. We are waiting for still a couple of participants to join here on the live conferencing. So that we will have a lot of questions towards the end of the webinar, and we would like to have as a collaborative work between all of us. So let's wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll start. Hello, Usha, welcome. Hello,
Hi.
Sanjay, welcome. Yes, so welcome to the workshop, and we are starting in a minute. We are waiting for a couple of participants to join in. I request all the participants to keep their microphone on the mute, and whenever you will have questions or comments, at that time you can unmute it. This will help us to maintain the silence within the room, and then we can take it forward. Okay, so I guess most of us are here and we can wait for them maybe in the future. But as of now, we'll start. So welcome to this webinar on the pedagogical leadership. On behalf of Council for Creative Education, I am Hiram Kulkarni, the Strategy and ICT Head of CCE. Would like to welcome you all from different parts of the globe who are interested in this webinar. Just a brief background about CCE. That's my first work, and then we'll go to the actual topic. So Council for Creative Education is a cooperative research-based organization established to promote, educate, and invent in the field of creative pedagogy. We are based mainly in Tampere, Finland, but we have offices and we have our collaboration partners across different parts of the world. We consider ourselves as a team who is a small team working in the field of creative pedagogy, mainly with the universities. We have also programs with the governments, schools, and we have funding partners like Fin Partnership and TechS. We are spread across multiple countries with a couple of offices in Asia, Europe, and USA, and as well as we have our partners offices in different parts of the world. What we do with this small team of experts in the field of education and in the field of creativity. So this is our team, and our goal is to provide an open, student-friendly, creative and learning environment for the students. And objective is to develop the holistic personality, develop and lead them to successful life. Just in brief, our entire scope of work has been divided into 5 different verticals. We are concentrating on the trainings and workshop for the teachers. Even we have workshop for the parents. We have workshop for the principals and strategy at government level. We have also consulting programs. We have a program called School Development Program, by which we work with the schools and universities and as well as with the preschools to develop the creative learning environment within the schools. We are proud to announce schools across 3 countries in this year, which we will announce in the next month, mid of next month. As a part of education technology, we are concentrating on the couple of education technological frameworks. We have our own learning management tools, and also we have a couple of fun games on which we are working on. We host a conference on creative education, which is normally in the month of November every year here in Tampere, Finland. We have also creative ideator camps mainly for the students for developing their creative abilities and giving them opportunity to develop the creative products and services. And we are a host of Finland Education Tour, which is a regular monthly affair, 1 week long education tours. A couple of us will join next week for the education tours, and you will meet all of us during that tour as well. And we have the collaborations at the EU level as well as at the global level, where we have the university collaborations, and we are working with the governments as well. So it's a brief about this part, and now I will switch to the main content. So today's main part is where we are working is on the pedagogical leadership of Finnish approach, approach which has been adopted by Finland, and for which I am proud to announce the name of our presenter here, and who is my colleague, Kari Louhivuori. A brief introduction about Kari. I will start with the first, and then the mic will be going to the Kari, and he will present entire gamut of pedagogical leadership under this part. This is a brief agenda. During the presentation, Kari is quite open, so if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. On the left hand side, you will find, and right hand side, you will find one chat box where you can comment it. Those who are online, they can send email to info@ccefinland.org about the questions. And as well as you can even comment using your microphone. You please unmute your microphone, otherwise we'll not be able to understand what you are saying. At the end of the presentation, Kari will conduct one quick activity with an active break, and then there will be question answers on the same topic. The total duration of the program is 1 hour 45 minutes. So we'll start right now as for Finland time at 2:10, and we will end by 3:55 or 4 o'clock Finnish time. So in brief about the Kari. So Kari is a pedagogical coach and ex-principal of Kirkkojärvi School. Kirkkojärvi is a small suburb in Espoo area, small town within Espoo area. And Kari has been instrumental in developing the Finnish learning experiences as a principal since 1970s. So he knows the Finnish education start from its development stage, and whatever we are hearing about the PISA outcomes. So you can feel free to ask the questions about these secrets from him. And today's topic, where he is concentrating, that he has strongly emphasized on the collaborative developments in the schools and developing an organic educational leadership. He has one model which he has implemented within his school called shared leadership. Kirkkojärvi School got a new building in 2010, and Kari has worked closely with one of the architects, famous architects from Finland, Verstas, in planning this prize-winning school building. He will tell briefly about that as well. Currently, Kari consults schools, universities, and educators across the globe as a CC's pedagogical coach. Now, with further ado, I guess I would like to ask Kari to start his presentation. So, Kari, please welcome.
Thank you very much, and nice to meet you all around the world. This is my first web lecture, a workshop, and I'm really excited to using this new tool. It's always interesting to learn something even in your old ages. Hiram, can you please put the first slide on?
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming. Small technical problems here in a moment. We'll start when we get the first picture.
Kari, can you see my slides here?
No, I can only see pictures of you and then and some of the parts. Now it just.
Okay, you got it now.
No, it's your face.
Okay, so 1 second, hold on. Okay, now I can start. Okay.
Now, here we have. Okay, so here you see a picture of my school playground. Oh, you saw it.
Oh, it went away again?
Yeah, it went away. Now it's back. Now it's back. Okay.
Okay, now.
Yeah, here it is. And you see, that was.
1 second, hold on.
There it is again. Now we got the picture. Good.
Yeah.
So there you see, that's what it looks like in Finland in the winter time when kids are playing in the playground. My school, I'll tell you a little bit about my school. My school is a Finnish comprehensive school, and we had kids from 6 years, that means 6 years older, that means preschool classes, up to the end of middle school, 16-year-olds. So we had the whole basic education in my school. In Finland, we have more or less only public schools, so we don't have private schools at all. And this means that children go to the school in which region they live. If I live on one street, I know that this will be my school because I'm living in this street. And if you live in another address, maybe the same school, or maybe you're in the region of another school. But you don't have to choose a school. You know where you go just because you live in the area. And this makes it so easy for families because they don't have to worry about getting their children into a good school or a bad school. Hiram, it would be nice to see the slide again. Now we've got the slide again, right?
I don't know why it is happening like this, but I guess it should be continuously on.
Yeah, now it's on. Good.
Please hold on. I will try to make it full screen because can you still see it?
No, it went away.
Okay, so I guess there is some. I will stop it and I will make the full screen with the entire screen sharing. Your screen, entire screen. Okay, now you can see it now. Yes. Please hold on. Please. Okay. Now can you see it now?
Yes. Now it's full screen. Good.
Okay. Good. Sorry for this.
No problem. So here you see children playing during the break. I'll get back to this in a moment, but just to telling you that in Finland we give much playtime during the school day. Normally a school lesson is 45 minutes long, and then after that there's always a 15-minute break. And especially the smaller kids, they love to go out to play in recess. So when the school day is about 4 to 6 hours lessons a day. Hiram, the slide went away again.
Go away again.
Now it's back. So children may have over 75 minutes of playtime in the school day. That's quite a lot compared to many other countries. We believe that children need to have much recess during the school day. Hiram, can you go to slide 2, please?
Yes.
Slide 2, that's it. Is it? No, I can't see anything now.
I'm on the slide 2 now.
Now.
Can you see it now?
Now I can see it, yeah. Thank you. In Finland, all teachers are highly trained. They all do a master's degree. And this means that they have been able to be given strong autonomy because they are experts in their work. And you can see it in one way. For example, they have full freedom to choose the right methods they want to use in their work. As a joke, I've told people that if I want to teach mathematics by jumping on stones in the forests, please do it. It's no problem. And teachers can very freely choose the right methods which suit for their students in that group that they're teaching. Teachers are seen as experts. Hiram, can you give me slide 3?
Yes. Can you see the slide 3 now?
Now it's there. Here are some key points in the Finnish system. Like I just mentioned, all teachers have a university level training. They do the master's degree. And because we don't have any male, female choice in the university, the best students get into the university, and usually they are girls. So we have more women students training to be teachers than male students. But Hiram, can I have the slide again? It's disappeared. Yeah, thank you again. Oops, there we are. And the students, they get researcher training so that they can analyze their work very well. Hiram, picture.
Actually, because at my end, I can see that everything is working okay. So maybe I need to just keep on refreshing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Now I can see it again. Yes.
Yeah.
And like I told you, it's the public system. All schools use the same national curriculum. All schools have the same Hiram picture. All schools have the same national curriculum, so that makes it so that all schools are more or less the same quality. And this makes it's very comforting for the families, for the children, to know that if you move around in Finland, you always go to a good school, more or less. Of course, the staff is a little bit different. Some school building is older, some school is newer. But due to having the same national curriculum, schools do more or less the same job. And that's a good Hiram picture.
Yeah, Can you see it now?
No, now, yes, thank you.
I guess, Kari, what is happening that if you can make your screen minimize, because I guess at my end I can see it very clearly, and as well as at the participants end also we can continuously see the screen. So just you may need to minimize the screen and again maximize. So I guess that will solve the problem.
This is so I'll minimize it.
And again, yeah. Okay, from the participants' ends, can you see the screen continuously?
No.
Okay.
Now it disappeared from me again.
Okay, maybe what I will do. Yes. Now is it okay now?
Now it's back again, yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
And this means equality in the whole country because all the schools are the same, more or less. So this makes it so in all of Finland, students, children are held equally. Lifelong learning means that we have no dead ends in our system. You can always go further on in your studies once you've started them. If you do a choice first, if you, let's say after middle school, you choose to go to secondary high academic, then you notice that that's not my line. I'd like to go more vocational. You can always change. But for example, if you've been in vocational and you'd like to read more, you can always go further on. So there's never a dead end in your studying, and you can go on studying all the time. Welfare state. Hiram, can I get the slide again? Welfare state means studying is free. Every child in Finland going to school can go without having to pay anything. The teaching is free. Everybody gets a free warm lunch every day at school. All the material is free in the school. There's a free health care. So this makes it so studying is not an economical question. Hiram, can I get the picture back again?
Mm-hmm. Is it clear now?
Now it's here again, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sustainable because everything, all schools, for example, are filled very economically. Like I told you, every school has its own school region. So in the municipalities, it's very economical to fill the schools so that there's never so that one school is very popular and too many students are choosing it, and in another place, another school is half empty because nobody wants to go there. Hiram, can I get the slide back?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And the one big thing, slide back please, is trust. In Finland,
Sorry, I guess what is happening is that at my end and as well as at the participants, because I'm checking with my other participants who are there, yeah. I can see that they can see continuously. They can't see a glitch in between. Okay. So my request to you is that if you can, your browser is there, you can just minimize the browser and again maximize it, or you can refresh it in the same window. Please don't refresh the entire window, otherwise you will go out of the screen. So maybe you can try it that way. Okay, my request to other participants, can you see my screen continuously?
No.
Okay, so I guess it's the same problem for everyone. Kari's screen is turning off in between, okay. Okay, let's continue then.
Let's continue. Okay, one big thing in this whole Finnish education is the question of trust. We don't have inspectors in our school system. I think the last inspectors we had in administration were in the late 70s or in the early 80s, I believe. We don't have this heavy national testing system, which is very popular in most countries, because we don't compare our schools with each other. Okay, people ask, how can you know how good your work is, what you're doing? Well, here we have our highly trained teachers who know they can evaluate their students very well using normal small testing inside the classroom after teaching something and seeing that how they're doing in their studies. We don't need these big national testings. The only thing we have is the National Board of Education chooses a few schools per year around the country just to and has a small national test in 1 or 2 subjects per year just to see that the whole country is in balance. It's like taking a blood test. When you go to the doctor, the doctor doesn't pump all the blood out of you. The doctor only takes a small sample of blood to see if you're well or if you're ill. And this is the same logic in the Finnish system. The Board of Education chooses a few schools around the country to see that the teaching is in balance around the country. But the first real national test is the matriculation test, which happens in the end of secondary high, when students end school and then apply for university. Hiram, can you please give me the slide back? Oh, right, just to see what's going on there.
Here I am back.
Right, nice back.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very small administration in the school system. There's the Ministry of Education, which does the laws for education. Then we have the National Board of Education, which does actually the national curriculum and that kind of work. And then we have the municipalities who implement the education in the local area. The trust goes from top to bottom. I, as a principal, then trust the teachers, parents trust the teachers, and the teachers trust the students, and so on. And this is a very, let's say, a mild system. In many countries, they say, "How can you do it? How can you guarantee quality this way?" But it works because of the well-trained teachers. Hiram, can I get the slide back for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. In the school, let's say behind the school or inside the school, there's a very strong support system. In Finland, it's very rare that a student has to do the same grade an extra year. If you've got difficulties in mathematics, why do you have to do, let's say, grade 3 again? Isn't it much more economical, and isn't it much more better for the child that you support the child in mathematics during the 3rd grade year? And that's why in Finnish schools we have very strong early support. Let's say in primary school, where the class teacher is the teacher, he or she has a special needs teacher working beside him or her and helping, so that when a student has difficulties in learning, the special needs teacher comes to help, either working in the classroom together with the class teacher or taking the students aside to train in a smaller group, and then if needed, if it's a severe, long needed, broader learning problem, the child can be even moved into a smaller special needs group to study there for so long that the learning problem is solved or helped. And if the child has ability to move back into the bigger group, then they can move back. In every school, we have students support group. That means every school has the group, the leader of the group is the principal, but then there's the school nurse who has contact to the school doctor, and that way to the city hospital system. Then there's a social worker in the group. If the child or the family has social problems, the social worker helps and has access to the city network in social problems. And then there's a school psychologist who helps to analyze if there's a learning, what kind of a learning problem there is, and what kind of support the child would need. And then in this same support group, we have the special needs teacher and the normal teacher. And then if we're talking about older kids, there's also the study supervisor who's helping when they are choosing the next step in their studies after the school. So this strong group is all the time as a background, in the background, helping the whole school in supporting the child. Can I have them get the slide back again?
Yep.
It helps me, reminds me what we're talking about. There we are. Okay. And like I told you, we have much recess during the school day, much free play time. We see that it's very important that a child has a good break between lessons. It's like if you think of yourself when you were studying, who can sit many hours at a time sitting and listening? I was very bad during my studies. I was always falling asleep during my studies. I needed activities, and I think most children need to get some fresh air, be with their friends. If you ask kids why they come to school, the first answer is to meet my friends, see my friends. And that's very important, that they have this relaxed, unprogrammed time during the school day between lessons. And that gives them, that makes school much nicer. It's not only hard work all the time. Hiram, can I get the slide back again? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Cooperation. And that means teachers and other experts inside the school cooperate very much together. Like I told you in this student support group, that's a very good example of cooperation. But then also teachers like to work together much. In every school we have a nice staff room. Finnish schools run by drinking coffee. There always has to be a coffee pot somewhere. And you notice who's a teacher because they've got a mug in their hand, coffee mug in their hand. Finnish schools run by coffee. And during these breaks, teachers and staff meet each other and they talk together about work, or then they talk about something quite unofficial. But this is a very important place, the staff room, because that's the place which builds the staff into a strong group, into a strong team. And that's very important, that the teachers feel that this is my team, I belong into a team, my school, my staff. And there they share ideas, there they open up their hearts if they've got trouble, they get help, they get advice from each other. So the staff room is a very important place in the school. It's the heart of the school. Heram, can I see the picture again?
Is it there?
There it is, yes. Okay, we can, let's move to the next slide. And here are some no's. We've been very lucky that in Finland we don't have actual corruption, no corruption. Schools and municipalities are administered very transparently. So Finland is a law-abiding country in many ways, and because of the transparency, parents, everybody knows what's going on in the school because it's open, and if they see something wrong there, they can always tell about it, and this way there's like public control in the society very strongly. Can I see it, Hiram, again? Can you put the slide back again?
Can you see it back again?
Now it's yes. No child left behind. This means, like I told you, there are no dead ends in the learning. There's the strong support system. So every child is tried to be given enough support so that they can get their education done properly. Heram, I can't see it. Maybe I'll take it. I'll open my own slide here too, so I can find it.
Exactly,
yeah. Just a minute. Yes.
Because I guess everybody else can see it very well, actually. Because I'm monitoring the same video from other.
Right. Okay. So there's no market of schools. Like I said, we only have the public schools. So there's no need for private schools, and in many cases private schools they've got many problems. I'm not going into them anymore in this session, but the public school system says that the whole Finnish society has put its energy into developing and building a good public school system for everybody, and we believe that this is best for the Finnish children. No dead ends, like I told you. You can always study more if you want to. You can always change if you've done a wrong decision, and this helps very much the students, so they don't have to panic because it's, when you're 14, 15, who knows what they want to be when they're adults. Nowadays you have to make choices when you're very young, and many times you don't do the right choices there. No top-down reforms. In Finland, the national curriculum is changed every, let's say, 6-7 years. And when the curriculum is changed or when the new curriculum comes, it's always built together with teachers, together with people who are working in the school. So there's never this, like in some countries, after every election, the curriculum changes and everything changes in the school. And as a teacher or as a principal, a person who's working in school changes very slowly. So if there's a change happening every 4th year or every 5th year after every election, there's never time to really stop and work, because it's always changing. We've been lucky in this way that the political parties in the parliament, they've decided together what is needed and wanted in the Finnish school system, and in the parliamentary committee, they've decided the headlines where how the school will be developed, and then the National Board of Education does the changes needed. And there's always teachers who are together with the administrators building the reforms. No accountability means we don't have this heavy testing system, which is very typical in many countries and which exhausts the teachers in the countries. We're lucky in this way that teachers, they can concentrate on teaching all the time. Let's go on to the next, next slide.
Yep.
There are a few lessons that we've learned from business world. Henry Ford, the very famous car builder, when he started to build cars, he saw that it costs less to pay more. He doubled the wages of the car manufacturers compared to other car manufacturers, and then they were, why are you paying so well to your workers? And his idea was that if you pay well to your workers, you get better workers in your factory, and they do a better work. So you don't have to repair things that you've been building. In other factories, they had to bring cars back into the factories and repair them because they were so badly built. And this is the same logic in Finland. We teachers are paid fairly well. You don't get rich being a teacher, but it's a good middle class profession with a decent pay, and this makes that the profession is attractive. Teaching as a profession in Finland is an attractive profession. Every year we get best students coming from school and applying to university to train to be teachers. And this is one of the, let's say, basic fundamental things which makes the Finnish school system so good, because we have good quality students who want to become teachers, and that when they're well trained in university, we get good teachers to work in schools. Another thing that we've learned from business life is reject merit pay. In Finland, teachers don't get merit pay like in business life. More or less all teachers get the same salary for the same work, being male or female. Class teachers are paid the same, subject teachers are paid the same. Principals have some small bonus money that they can use if some teachers are doing something extra. Then they get this small extra for the extra work that they do that helps the whole school. And basically, you have the same pay for the same work, because merit money in business help very easily. It builds in the school. It rewards the wrong individuals. You get these yes men and yes women who know how to play the game and to be nice to the principal, and it's not efficient. We believe that when everybody gets the same pay for the same work, it strengthens the team. Then one third lesson that we learned from business life is groom talent from within. All our administrators are more or less people who have been working as teachers in school at some time. They know what They know what it is to be a teacher. They've been in front of the classroom. They've been in front of the students, winning the audience. So even up to the Secretary of Education in the Finnish government, she is an old teacher. And this way, also administration works to support the school system because they don't make decisions which don't work inside the school system. And that's a very good thing. Okay, let's go on. The next slide, please. The profession of the teachers changed very much in the last 100 years. Here you see a list of examples of things what the teacher did 100 years ago. Very good things. If you look at the list, very good things, and many of these things are still very valid. But some things have to change because we don't have time for all this. Let's say one thing, practice learning by heart. I think most of us remember how we had to learn names of capitals of the country or names of rivers in geography or many kinds of things. And nowadays, it's so easy to find these. Of course, you need to know basic information so that you understand life around you. But now you don't use all your time to learn things like lists and then to duplicate them again. You can find this information from your phone nowadays or internet everywhere. Now you use your time to different things. Let's see. If you change Heram, take the next list.
Yep.
In the old time, old days, you used much time to, let's say, nice handwriting. You taught them things like this, obedience, manners. Of course, these kind of things you need even today, but they're in a smaller part of the work today. In the old days, kids were asked to read text and then to, let's say, copy the text again or pronounce it again out. Nowadays, we see this in a different way. For example, in Finland, nowadays we don't teach handwriting anymore like we used to. Let's say 5 or 6 years ago, we still did it. Now they're just taught basic letters and writing because now they're taught to write using a computer. So it's a new skill, which is much more. We need it much more nowadays because in, let's say, in nearly every profession, you'll be using a computer. So you need to learn to write with a computer very, very much more. Let's see what a teacher does today. Heram, if you take here. We had, in Finland, we changed the curriculum in 2014. And now the focus is much more on being, let's say, a trainer in the team. You give suitable challenges and opportunities. You choose working methods in interaction with the pupils. You help pupils to succeed in their studies and to recognize their succeedings and their strengths. You direct the students, your teaching towards the needs of the pupils. Inspire, encourage, support. Expand the pupils' interests. Add possibilities to study in groups of different type and age, and to work with several different adults. Confirm each pupil's participation and functioning. Observe and document the pupil's learning, working, and behavior. So it's much more, the work is now giving, let's see, seeing more different kind of learners in the classroom and helping them find their their strong abilities and helping them find their own path to study. Let's see what the pupil did 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a good list. Performed, took care of the exercise book, expressed himself, told, wrote numbers, listened, behaved, counted, sang, was diligent, tidy, attentive, precise, spoke perfect sentences independently and clearly, followed, read fluently, wrote on the blackboard, did quiet work, literal exercises, handwork, answered to questions, waved their hands. And what does this pupil do today? Let's see. Heram, have you got the next? Thank you. Now the student participates in planning, implementing, and assessing his own studies, schoolwork, and learning environments. Now the student has a much bigger role in his or her studies, sets targets for himself and promotes his learning, chooses different sorts of working methods and advances individually, anticipates different steps in learning and possible difficulties, tries out different options, recognizes his own way of learning, utilizes his own strengths and contents of own interest in learning, technological and other aids, finds innovative solutions, directs own learning, faces also failures and disappointments, reflects on own experiences, learning and feelings, estimates own progress, time needed, success in work, and factors that led to it. So we try to teach the pupil to be more involved in his or her studies and to evaluate how they're going on in their studies. So it's a big change in the role of the teacher and the students. Let's take the next picture. That maybe helps to understand this even more. In the old pedagogy, the teacher used ICT as a tool. Skills were very in a quite big role, and there was a very big role in the contents. And this meant that the student used ICT and contents in reproducing existing information. The student is an information consumer. But now in the new pedagogy, ICT has a big role because it's the big tool behind all the studying. Contents are in a smaller role because you can always bring more contents up if you need them, but it's not the big thing. Learning contents as for themselves, and learning skills are a much bigger role now. To learn it, to use different tools, learn to share together, to discuss together, so that the skills are a much bigger role, And in this deep learning, you start to produce new information, you learn critical thinking, and now you're not reproducing existing information, you're producing new information. And this is the big difference in the learning. If you take the next picture, the Finnish Board of Education has built this kind of a picture to show the 7, let's say, big topics in the learning: thinking skills and learning to learn, cultural skills, interaction and expression, taking care of oneself and everyday skills, multi-literacy, ICT skills, working life skills and entrepreneurship, and participation, influencing and building sustainable future. These are big, let's say, big topics in the learning. And now in the school year, schools take these bigger themes into the learning, where they put together different subjects, where they then train these kind of skills. So these are, like, let's say, big themes in the whole school role. And my last slide, I'd like to talk about shared leadership. But before we go there, is this, Hiram, maybe the place for a small activity?
Yes, perfect. You are right.
Now, okay. Hiram,
yes, you continue, because I guess that's the precursor for the next presentation.
Yes. Now, my next slide will be talking about shared leadership. And before we go there, I'd like you all to stop for a moment and to consider what kind of daily, weekly, monthly, or annual tasks you have in your school that should be done. Somebody in the staff needs to do them so that things roll in the school. You think of small things and bigger things in everyday school life. What kind of works, jobs, tasks have to be done in the school so that the school runs? Did Hiram, did you make a list for that?
Yes.
So yes, so people can start writing their activities.
So my request to everyone, those who are in the hangout right now, please open the link on the chat window. I can see that few of you are already here. Open the link on the chat window. You can see chat window over there. Then you will find one open document which can be editable for everyone. You don't even need a sign in for that. And it is given the headline as activities or the task which can be done together in the school. So I guess each one of us can start writing your name as a participant. You each one take different participant number, write your name and start writing the activities which can be done together. I guess Kari can explain you basic ideas or the broader areas which can be there.
Yes, let's say who plans, if you have let's say if you have recess, if you need teachers to guide there during the recess, who makes a plan? Who goes in different recesses there? Who takes care of the library? How is it taken care of? Let's say quite easy things. Who cooks the coffee in the staff room? Who keeps the staff room tidy after a school day? Who is responsible for students' activities? If you have a school students' government, for example, who takes care of that? Who is responsible for that? If you have physical education and there's you have lots of equipment, who takes care of them? How is it taken care of? These kind of things, bigger or smaller. If you have parents' events, evening or weekend events, how are they organized? Who take care of them? These are just small examples. ICT, who takes care of the computers? Have you thought about how the training of ICT, how the staff is trained? These are just a few ideas for you. Yes, the question was, what tasks are there in the school, daily, weekly, monthly, annual, that should need to be taken care of, and who takes care of them? Or who would you want somebody to take care of them? Or they needed to be taken care of. Maybe nobody takes care of them at this moment. Have you thought how would you organize it? But just list all kinds of tasks, jobs, works that need to be done in the school during the school year. And then we start thinking how we could organize it.
Yeah, so maybe any of you who can't find their names, please write your names here as a participant 5, participant 6. We have a lot of participants still. You can wait for them. And please feel free to edit. And you can take maybe a single task and then put the in-between task for that. So I guess Anuradha Joshi, student support system is a good point. Mentorship sessions, very good. Curriculum committee. Maybe if you want to elaborate a single point, then you can do it under the same point then. Like creating the same part. Excellent. We have very good list with us. Okay, Sanat, I guess I read your question here actually, that you just need to come up with the list of activities within the school, maybe all activities which can be done together. So I guess his question is mainly towards the bigger picture. Yes, exactly. Yes. You have already started it, but I read your question just now. Thank you.
Yes, because the idea is that their school is full of many kinds of bigger or smaller tasks that need to be taken care of. And sometimes there's a problem that they all fall so that the principal has to do them in a smaller school maybe, or then there are a few active teachers who do them, and then there's a big amount of people who don't do much or anything. But still, these tasks have to be dealt with. And now, and sometimes when a staff sits down and starts making these lists, you notice that there's a huge amount of work to be done that needs to be taken care of. And then the next question is, who will do it? And another question is how to do it so that there's not too much for some, and so that everybody takes part in this work. And after you've done the lists, your lists, then I'll give you one example of how one way to organize it.
Okay, so I found some comments from Usha here. Okay, so Usha's comments are already here. Excellent. So number 5 here is here. Maybe next participant can go towards the next page. Maybe participant number 6. Then we have a lot of comments. And once we list all these comments, then Kari will tell us next instructions. But meanwhile, if you have any questions for the Kari, please feel free to ask in between, so that he will keep on taking the notes and we can be able to answer the questions. And then there is a final model to be developed, which Kari will explain.
Yes, if there's any question or any thoughts that rose in your mind during my talk, please feel free to ask anything.
Maybe after all the questions towards the end, Kari, I wish that you answer this question, that how do you maintain the discipline within the school as a principal, and do you use the shared leadership model for that as well?
Okay.
So you can answer this question, because it's my question, so you can answer towards the end after answering all the questions.
Good.
Okay, so I guess we have quite a good number of responses with us now.
Oh, wonderful. Very good. Yes. So even from here, you see how much, even this is in this short moment, you've been able to list things that need to be taken care of in the school everyday life. Okay, I'll show you what kind of model we had in my school.
Yep.
So
Just a second, I will start sharing now. I will start sharing my slide, your slide again. Yes. Now you can see it again, and then
go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Here we are. Right. We organized in my school. I had about 60 teachers in my staff, and it was very typical that when we had weekly staff meetings, there were some teachers who were very active in discussion, and then there was also parts of the staff who sat quietly during the event without saying a word. And we started to then think, how could we activate all the teachers so that they would feel that their voice is heard, but also that they could feel that they're taking part in decision and also in implementing things in the everyday school system. And so we built a model of teams into our school. And this is actually fairly much used in Finnish schools, that we built teams with some certain topic that they would take care of, and under this topic we could then put these daily, weekly, monthly tasks into. And one team in our school was the ICT team. In the beginning, it was helping in what kind of computers and learning devices we needed in the school for teachers and for students. Then there was also, we've been lucky that the city of Espoo has a deal with a maintenance company who takes care of the maintenance, but somebody has to be in the staff who looks when something goes wrong, who calls the maintenance or collects the broken devices or helps in some smaller functional problems. So we built the ICT team. And also in ICT, there's all the time new learning happening, new programs, new ways of using ICT as a learning tool. How could we spread this kind of learning and information? We use the ICT team. So there was this maintenance topic, but then there was much bigger thing was the pedagogical use of ICT, how to organize it, inside the house training. And those teachers who were interested in this, they could join the ICT team. Especially when the new curriculum was being implemented, we needed the curriculum team because teachers were taking part in training sessions that were organized by the city, and we needed some teachers who were taking part there and bringing back information into the school, but also who were then bringing our ideas from our school to the municipalities when we were building the curriculum for the next for the new curriculum. So teachers were in this curriculum team too. Then in my school we have lots of children who have a multicultural background, and also we had special education groups. We needed a team that would take care of this. They would help in organizing integration, what kind of support these kids need, what kind of events, and in what ways we could broaden the knowledge of multicultural learning, new Finns moving into Finland, how to support them even in every learning groups. We needed a group for that. Welfare, that meant teachers' welfare, also students' welfare, teachers who wanted to organize after-school activities, these kind of things. It was a very popular team too. And then the students' participation group, the team, that was one team who built ideas how to activate students. We had the students' government. We had organized students, librarians helping in the library, students helping in organizing and taking care of sports equipment, information inside to the students, anything like that. Many kinds of things inside that. And every team had a leader. And the leader of the teams built up the leader group. And in the leader group, there's the principal, vice principal, and then the team leaders. And this leader group is let's say, the heart of the school. The leader group made decisions concerning the whole school, but they listened when they had new ideas. They took them into the teams. The team leaders would take them into discussion in the teams. Teams met once a week. We had 2 hours per week for teams and for collaboration. And then they would, the team leaders would bring back into the leader group then ideas and thoughts that were discussed in the teams. The leader group met every week, had a 2-hour session in the afternoons after lessons, and in this way we could then organize discussion inside the house and also then organize all the tasks needed to be taken care of in the school. And in this way also teachers could then feel that their voice was being heard, and they could then influence what happened in the school through their own team. And teachers would sit in their team for 2 years maximum, and then they had to change team. And also every second year we would then think out, are these teams, these topics still the things that we need to be taken care of, or should some team be changed and their responsibilities be changed to some other topics? And in this way we try to keep so that the teams still would support the school in their everyday life. So now maybe you'd like to share what kind of ideas you have, or what kind of good organizations you have in your schools.
I guess I will have a question. Maybe others are welcome to join for the question, and this is open for all to discuss. So if I understand this model which you have implemented within your school, was that you will have the group leaders for each of the topics. Maybe they are the teachers itself.
They are teachers, yes. Yes.
They are teachers itself. And practically based on that, so practically there is no concept of vice principal or something kind of a principal will be the leader for everything. But whereas it is an individual teacher who will be taking care of the each activity, let's say curriculum, a teacher will take activity and he will be helped by the others.
Yes.
So that's the
or let's say the whole team is responsible, and then there's the team leader who is let's say like the chairman of the team, or organizing or leading the work inside the team. Mm-hmm. But then we have in most schools we have the principal and we have the deputy principal who have a position in the organization as itself, and they have some they have things they have to take care of because it's belongs to their work. So if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay, so I guess that makes it quite so maybe at some point of time each teacher has to take some kind of leading role in his career or at one topic. Is it by default?
Yes, or has the possibility.
Has a possibility.
So every second year in these teams, the team leader place is open, and those teachers who are interested in this job, they can apply for it. And then the principal chooses the new team leaders. They get paid a little bit for it. They get in their salary. They get a little bit extra for it because it's extra work. And then they start leading their team. And then teachers can join the team, the topic which interests them most. And every second year you have to then change team and change topic so that it goes like in a carousel. So you can't sit in one team all the time for many years. You have to change.
Excellent. So for example, this model, I guess it needs a cohesive team to be there for a quite long time. The biggest problem with most of the schools, mainly in the Asia or even in, like for example, I was traveling to Africa as well as in US, it's an attrition rate. Attrition is quite high within the school, and teachers keep on going within the school. So do you think that this kind of issues has been in the Finnish schools, or how to handle this kind of school where the attrition is quite high?
Attrition, what does it mean? Sorry.
Okay, attrition means teachers leave the job maybe within 2 to 3 years, or they.
Right. I understand. Yeah. Well.
Job attrition.
Yeah. Right. In Finland, once you start as a teacher, it's a lifelong profession for very many teachers. And let's say as a young teacher, you may change from school to school per year in the beginning, but after, let's say, very often after 4 or 5 or 6 years, you get a permanent job in a school, and that's when you stay in the school for many years. So you have a very permanent staff in schools very often.
Mm-hmm.
Did this give you an answer to the question?
Yeah. So practically, had this not been the case, for example, if there is too much of changes in the teams, or for example, teachers are joining to your school and they're leaving maybe in couple of years or 3-4 years, do you still suggest to hold on to this model? That's maybe my critical question.
Yeah, I understand. I think it works even because in every school, there's always a part of the teachers who are leaving and new coming. So it's never so that the whole staff is permanent all the time, but it still works because it's at least for 1 year that staff, and let's say 85 or 90% of the staff is permanent standing. So there's, let's say, a 10% change per year, and that doesn't harm the system in any way. They come into the system and they learn. They swim into the system during the year, and they can give their contribution to the schoolwork, even if they're only there for 1 year.
Makes sense. Perfect. I guess this floor is open for all to provide your comments, as well as provide your ideas, like what kind of practices which you practice. Some of us who are participating in this workshop, they are principals in their own schools, as well as some are using also in the higher education. They are using the quite creative practices, which if I know. So please feel free to comment, and please unmute your microphone before you start. Any takers for the question or comments?
Just one question. This is Usha here.
Hi, yes, please go ahead, Usha.
You often have, these ecosystems where you'll have some teachers who have been in the school for some time, and then you have new teachers joining in who come with, sometimes they think which are great ideas, which the old teachers are not listening to you and things like that. So when you form these teams, how do you manage egos and these kind of tensions?
We discuss this often in the leader team, because the team leaders, they as a principal, I often ask how the team is functioning, what's the dynamic inside the team, and we discuss this question every now and then, because I think this is a global problem. There's always the old teachers who know everything and shoot down new ideas, or at least there's always someone in the staff who behaves like this, and then we just have to support the team leader and try to so that they let's help these new teachers to bring these ideas out, and then actively listen to them and try to implement these ideas also if they're practical and there is use of them, and show that they are good ideas and that new ideas are needed. So I think it's again a question of how do you say, helping so that the discussion is open and no idea is stupid or no question is stupid. Every new idea is always welcomed, and then openly then evaluate, is this idea good? Does it work? Can we try even for a short while? And in this way help people to open their hearts and bring these ideas, because it benefits the whole school. Did I answer you? Was there any sense in my answer?
A little bit.
Because it's always difficult with the staff, because there are so many different kind of personalities inside the staff, and one big job for the principal is to keep tolerance and open discussion climate in the staff, so that young and old new and older teachers, so that they learn that it's allowed and that it's good to bring you new ideas. And so keep discussion open in the staff, and in these weekly or monthly events when you meet together, always then support these people with new ideas, so that the old stiff people, they don't win. They see that the principal cherishes these new ideas and new thoughts. So it's a question of bringing the right kind of climate into the staff, into the discussion.
Kari, I can add a couple of points too, because I guess I have visited your school many times, and I have seen how the things are working over there. So one thing which I observed as an outsider to your school was that you have built one culture of openness, which takes a long time practically. So I guess that helps in long run. So it's not a matter of one day, 1 year, or even couple of years. It takes long amount of time. That openness culture is within the Finnish model, Finnish society at large. But also you have put that culture in the school. That's number one. And second thing which was very striking was that for taking the responsibility, I guess the taking risk was always been rewarded, which you have also mentioned in that, like, risk taking is a part of your school process. So the ego clashes happens that if somebody is as a failure or somebody is a success, and then the ego mounts on. But if at all it's like we are all from the same problem, we are in the same ship, then everybody is trying to protect the ship. If there is a small hole, everybody tries to protect the ship from that hole, and it's not only one person's job. And I guess the shared leadership model accounts at one point of time you have to be leader, or you may be you will have the same problem if the next person to you is a leader right now. After 1 year you will be there. So
yes, yeah,
that
you have to make sure that the teachers get the feeling that we are the same team and we're playing the same game, and so that even so that the older teachers support the younger players, the younger teachers, and it's building the attitude inside the staff for this kind of attitude. And if some young teacher, a new teacher brings new ideas, give them responsibility, give them an arena to prove or test their idea, and if it does well, praise them. If it doesn't go well, support them. But the main thing is that you give them energy to take risks, because you learn from mistakes, you learn from taking risks, and I think this is the attitude so that the staff learns we one team, we support each other, we're playing the same ball game.
makes sense. Perfect.
Sir, I have one question.
Please go ahead.
Sir, I'm from India. I just wanted to know that whether is it the time that now we have to train teachers to be culturally competent. So cultural competency nowadays, I think that because India is a land of so much of diversity, we have students from urban area, from rural area, and regional biases are also there. So it becomes very difficult to maintain a uniformity for the different sets of students. So how to tackle this problem?
Yes, that's not an easy question. Maybe in the Finnish picture, we have we have the problem, or the question is, when we have students moving from abroad to Finland, with very different kind of educational backgrounds. And that's why, for example, we have teachers who have extra training for supporting these kind of children. We have special groups where they start their studying before they move into the normal groups. Let's say the state gives funding to municipalities so that a student can study from 1 to 2 years in a preparing class in a smaller group. It's maximum 10 or 12 kids in a group, where they first learn. In Finland, the problem is first language. We speak a very odd language compared to many countries. So to learn the basic language first, and during this same time, trying to get into the same level as the same age students in the normal groups, and then after the 1 year integrate into the normal class with support, with the supporting teachers. And it's quite a big task. Some students, the 1 year is enough for them. For quite a lot, it isn't enough. It takes over 7 years to learn a language properly. So it's a huge problem. But if it's possible to build this kind of smaller support groups first, where they, depending on what kind of skills they need when they come, is it a language problem? Is it a learning, different kind of educational background? Build some kind of a program where you concentrate on the most needed things to support, so that the child can then move into bigger group and then participate into normal learning. So maybe this is one answer to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, very true. Actually, I can definitely. You can see this presentation here. Actually, I guess that's why Kari has mentioned the curriculum, which is a new curriculum which has been launched in Finland in 2014, and it is already enrolled from 2016 into the primary and as well as into the middle schools. And one of the competence which is a multiculturalism, which is important part of getting cultural skills and interactions and expressions, and which is the need across Europe now. If you see countries like India, which has been multicultural since its birth itself, so I guess the multiculturalism definition across these two countries is a bit different, because of their homogeneity as well as diversity in these two countries. But more or less what I have observed here in Finland nowadays, the principals of a Finnish schools have a bigger challenges in handling the students from totally different countries. For example, in India, even though the students will be from different culture, they're from different state, but they are from more or less same socio-economic background. So you will have a more or less homogeneous group. Even the language is different, everything is different. So because of the structures of the schools nowadays, you have high fees school, where you have a typical socio-economic class, you have free schools, you have one socio-economic class, and so on. So that has been the one thing which is still in, let's say, in Indian context, that has been the set up still now. But when Finland has started a lot of immigrants getting into the Finnish society, I guess in last 20 years, 25 years, because Kari has seen that migration for last more than 40 years. Kari, you can see the difference between in 1970s or 1980s, your school, and 2017, your Kirkojärvi school. Totally different population, lot of immigrants, and I guess you have to create that atmosphere of cultural skills. So you can share your ideas on that as well.
Yes, the amounts of people moving into Finland has changed dramatically in the last few years, and now we have, because we are public schools, so we have very big differences in the background of the children when they've moved to Finland. We have kids who are 12 to 14 years old, and some haven't even learned to read yet, or they've been refugees. They've been living in war zones where they're traumatized through the war or different catastrophes, and then they're coming to Finland, or if they don't even rely on administrators. Police has been an enemy for them in their own home country. They don't trust anybody around because they've always been learned to fear. So there are many problems with these children when they come. Some have had a very good educational background. They just come into Finland, learn the language, and start studying, and they do excellently. But there's so big diversity in these groups, and that is a very big challenge for the teachers. How to support these same age children with so different kind of backgrounds. And that's why when we have to then, well, it costs money. We have to build different kind of support groups. We need to get supporting teachers into the staff who work together with the normal teachers, helping these kids. We have to make new kind of learning material, different kind of textbooks. There are many kinds of things you have to do so that you can support these different kind of students. But one big thing is having good teachers who confront these kids with a warm heart, who show that they want to take care of these children and show that they love them. That usually opens the doors to learning when the kids feel that they are in safe hands and these teachers really want to help them. And also the families behind, they see that the school is doing their best to support and help the kids. This together is a good start, basics for the learning.
Yeah, very true. Okay. Any questions from other participants? Okay, I will check if there are any questions which are posted on the email of CCE, so that I can be able to check. By that time, then maybe you can answer my question, which I have asked at in the middle, about creating a discipline or rules. Like yes, I guess after telling the model, it is evident, but it's not only giving the rules, but also how to follow the rules, or what is the process of following those.
Well, the first thing is that you build the rules together with the students. And we had this one team, which was the students activating team. This team, for example, had a big role when we built the rules for our school. Of course, we have there's the laws behind everything. We have to do everything concerned with the law, but inside the school there are so many rules that you can build together with the students, and then when the students are building it together with you, it's much easier for them then to work or obey them, because it's been discussed together and they make sense for the kids. And then you can decide together also punishments. Well, the law has written what kind of punishments in the Finnish school. We don't actually have much punishments. Our punishment is discussion, explaining, taking the parents to the school, tiring the parents, calling them in the evenings to school, and discussing together with the kids. That's the punishment. And it's very effective, actually, because the parents get so tired. What, you're calling us to the school again? And then they do something at home. But discussion, that's the thing. But the main thing is working together with the students and building the environment together with the students. And in this way, making so that they feel that the rules make sense. They've been heard. And then they want to work to the rules.
Yes, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, because actually, also in your schools and actually when I have now visited more than 400 schools now within Finland, I have already visited in last many years. I found one thing which is interesting, that there is no concept of giving rules list to the students or creating a rule list for the teachers within Finnish schools, but whereas everybody comes together and creates their own rule list, and maybe there can be not more than 10 rules. I guess every school will have only maybe 10 rules, and they take 6 months to design the rules. So this, when I understood this question for the first time, that it takes 6 months to plan the rules. So it was not only planning, it was how we can be able to adhere to those rules, how we can be able to follow those rules. That has been already the part and parcel of those 6 months. And so once we have these 6 months invested in planning the rules, things are set, more or less set. So you have some maybe 10% of the students or 10% of the staff who will go out of the rule, but more or less 90% of the staff will make sure that remaining 10% are under control.
Yes, and there's this, let's say, social pressure, because the big majority wants to live according to the rules, and they press those who don't play to the rules. They get a negative feedback from their friends or from the staff, or also inside the staff. So the transparency helps in this also, and not having too many rules. Only a few decent rules which are concern security, these kind of things, safety. So when you don't have too many rules, it's very easy to live to these rules.
Very true. Makes sense. Okay, so we have a few more minutes for the questions, and then we will have some ideas for the future as well. So please, everyone else who would like to ask the question, or in the comment section, if there are any questions, please let me know. Okay, so Sadhana Sahasrabuddhe is commenting that that's what we do too, informing parents about misbehavior and suggestion sessions with school counselor. Excellent. I guess there has been a couple of comments on the chat section here, which has been there. One more interesting comment was about comment or the question is about this transition from non-technological to technological approach within the classrooms. do you have any quick tips or suggestions when you change your school from in 1990s till 2017 or 2018? What was your approach?
Small steps, short steps. Don't make too much pressure, because there is always, you have to start with the teachers so that they learn their basic skills. But they, you know, even I told Hiram before this session that we've been training this for 30 years. We still have teachers who, after many years of training, don't have real good skills in using technology. And then some teachers who are really excited about it, then they learn very quickly. One good thing is internal training inside the school. If you have teachers who have found some good idea how to use technology in their learning, even one small thing, they could even have one lesson where they demonstrate how they did one work using technology, and show it to your colleagues, and if possible, this teacher go into the classroom of the other teacher and support them, and help the teacher with short steps to do one project using technology. And don't make too much pressure that they have to start to use it all the time. Let's say make goals at one project per month, or two classes together plan something which they do twice. The teacher does it twice with the colleagues, so that they learn to do it, some basic techniques or some functional way to use it. In this way, taking small steps where they learn and they find out that this is a good way. Usually the kids are very enthusiastic about it when they are able to use technology, but also the teachers find that it helps, and it gives something new to the classroom. Start with small steps and go further, and share your skills inside the staff. Don't keep them as a secret, but show models, discuss together, give the possibility that they can get freed from their own classroom for a while to go to another classroom to help to teach. Make a team where after lessons you train together, for example, or you share together. Use the expertise inside your school in the beginning. That may be a good start.
Excellent. I guess they were very practical tips, and I guess from your experience, I guess we can be able to learn a lot of things. If there are no more questions, then I guess we are towards the last minute of the entire presentation. I would like to thank Kari for your time and your energy, for sharing your experience and giving a very detailed overview about the pedagogical leadership as well as shared leadership model which you have built, and your presentation reflects your experience. So it's really great. I am proud to be working with you. It's really great.
Thank you, Hiram. Thank you for your warm words, and thank you all for being with us here. It's been very interesting to use this kind of tool, and you know, speaking around the world. This is modern. This is modern learning together.
Yeah, very true, very true. So thank you very much all. But before we go, there is a couple of requests from our side. Kindly provide your feedback about this to info@ccfinland.org. Please feel free to contact Kari Louhivuori as well as us on this email, as well as there is a Kari's email address on the first page of this presentation. You will find it over. It's his first name dot last name @ccfinland.org. So you can be able to see it over here. We will share this email also in the mailing list to all of you. Those who are participating in this entire process, we request you to provide the feedback. There is also assignment with this part so that we can be able to send you certificates after we get the assignments part. So please create a plan for the shared leadership model for your school. I guess each one of us are working for one school or the other. If some of us are working for Institute of Research, and if you don't have any nearby school to plan with, please contact us. CC has a good network in most of the part of the world so that we can connect you with some school. Take any one topic of your interest. I guess we talked about many 6 to 7 different topics which we came across. Plan out the steps that how you will go about it. Share your experience in a 2-pager document. You can write it in a simple 2-page Word document. There is no specific word limit. You can put your own word limit. I guess more importantly that it is important to come up with some practical experiences from your side after completing this part. During the process, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask Kari about it part. His email address is there. He is also there. And we can be able to come together for giving you the feedback. You can share it to the info@ccfinland.org and we will give you the feedback individually onto your topic, and then we will send you the certificate. The deadline for submitting these parts is 2 weeks from now. So today is 31st of January. So the deadline is on 15th of February 2018. If someone can be able to complete this earlier, please share it with us. We have a very interesting group of educators which we are connected across the globe, and they are really interested in working together. If you wish to be in touch with us, please join our classroom. We have a common classroom activities where we share our ideas, we discuss regularly. Please feel free to contact us, and if you want access for that, please contact us at info@ccefinland.org. So this is one part. After this part, this recorded part will be available for the registered participants only. So thank you for this part, and I guess in future, if you would like to have this kind of workshops of Kari in your school, as well as online workshops, wherever we can be able to travel, we will travel, but many countries which are not accessible for us, we will be happy to host these online workshops. With this part, I thank you, all the participants, for giving your time and taking interest in part. I thank you, Kari, for giving this entire presentation, and we hope that in future we get connections and contacts from many of you who is watching and who is participating in this workshop. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and good night from our end. Thank you.
Bye-bye.